Welcome everyone to Surviving the Holidays with Empathy and Kindness. Oh, the holidays, they can stir up so much. And for those who are watching it live or recorded, we're going to be spotlighting myself, Francesca Gentile, and Martina Pesce of Crafting Dialogues. And this will be an opportunity either live or if you're watching recorded to send us your questions about the holidays. We'll be doing another version of this on December 18th. So if everything does not get answered today, you'll have another opportunity to join us. And I'm going to invite us to take a breath. Feeling our feet, I'm going to readjust the way I'm seated, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the belly. Just allowing the breath to lengthen. Breathing in the nose, twice as long out the mouth. As we land in this precious moment, in this sacred now. Welcome, welcome. And as we're breathing, some of us may want to gently close our eyes or look down. I invite us to tune in to this time of year, both the hopes that we can have that it'll be beautiful and magical, maybe the best holiday season ever. And also some of the challenges that we've had in other holiday seasons, or might even be having now. The ways that we talk to ourselves, the way that others talk to us, the way we talk to them, the stressors that can happen this time of year. At parties, at work, with the expectations. Just breathing in the nose, twice as long out the mouth. I'm rolling the neck and shoulders a little bit, just bringing in a little bit more relaxation. And I invite us to look at any challenges because we'll be unpacking those challenges today. We'll be bringing empathy and kindness to those challenges today. So looking at any challenges that come up during this time of year. And if you have challenges on behalf of someone else, a sister, a family member, a brother, a good friend that you know that this is something that they struggle with, you could always ask a question on their behalf as well. Just tuning in. What are those questions that I have that I would love greater ease and harmony brought to? Greater empathy. And placing one hand on our heart center and one hand on some other part of the body. Taking one more nice long deep breath in the nose, twice as long out the mouth. When we're ready, shaking out our hands and gently opening our eyes. Welcome, welcome to Surviving the Holidays with Empathy, Kind and Effective Communication. And for those that are here with us live or later, Uh, this is actually a free gift teaser as part of our Kind and Effective Communication series. And those who listen now or later will be offered a special discount. And every lesson, every 75-minute lesson has a theme, and today is surviving the holidays. Um, I'm going to invite each of us, including Martina and I, to take a moment to write down some of the challenges that come up at the holidays. So if you have a phone, a computer, a notebook, hard copy, uh, let's just take a couple minutes to write down those challenges. And would you time for us, Martina?
Yes, we are going to have around 3 minutes starting now. Get as creative and desperate as it gets.
How much longer do we have?
We have still 13 seconds, so I suggest you to start to wrap it up. That was our time.
And before we collect them, I just want to say a couple things about why we're here and why we're even doing this. And Martina, why do you like NVC? Why is it something that you think is important?
Hmm. Yeah, my answer changes every moment. So I'm going to share with you the reason why it supports me now, because every second of my life, it supports me more with something different. I would say right now is it supports me a lot to navigate discomfort within myself, to hold myself in discomfort, and yeah, and also to listen to others. Yeah, to manage to listen to the most difficult things. And actually, yeah, if I can listen long enough, I'm eventually gonna be touched by whatever the other person is trying to say with a tragic language. So I would say these days this is where it touches me. And for you, Francesca?
NVC, which stands for nonviolent communication. Um, for me, I've often felt that the world speaks more violently than I feel comfortable with, in language that's very accusatory or demanding or labeling. He or she is so selfish or such a jerk, or he or she is, um, or you, you are um, um, manipulative, or you are, like very accusatory language, and which is very violent. And you have to do this, you have to do that. Threatening, if you don't, you're going to get hit, or if you don't, you're going to get left. And it's very common to speak in this kind of demanding, commanding, criticizing, labeling way. But for me, it was always very painful to receive it, and I didn't like it even when I did it. I didn't feel good about it when I did it to another person. And so for me, it brought me such hope. I would say hope when I found nonviolent communication. And it was scary at first because I thought if I put down the weapons of criticism and complaint and judgmentalism, um, will I just be destroyed? Because I've put down my weapons, but they haven't. And but what NVC really supported me in was rebuilding my relationship with myself on a level that I didn't even know I had to do, but self empathy. And then with this strength internally, I have more capacity without feeling like I'm overgiving or resenting to hold another person in what they're going through. And what I noticed is 100% my relationship with me got better for the win. And also, I would say many of my relationships with other people got better. Not everyone responds to empathy. Uh, but I would say with most people, it's really gotten better. And it's also allowed me to vet. Sometimes it's like, should I be close to this person or not? Is this a toxic relationship or not? And utilizing this more kind and compassionate way, empathetic way of communicating has allowed me to discern who who has potential and who doesn't. So yeah, it's definitely been life changing for me. And that's why we're here, because we love it and we think it makes a difference in a world of peace, a world of kindness, a world of joy. Um, and Martina is living in,
Berlin,
but originally from
Italy.
Italy. A little
And Francesca is
international.
living in,
I'm living in both Sicily and San Francisco,
and originally from.
originally from the USA.
Mm.
Uh, so we're a little international group here. And feel free, those of you who are live, to write in and say where you are and or where you're from, if where you're from is different than where you are. And now, are we ready? Are we ready for what our challenges are at the holidays? And so this is being recorded. So, people who are watching live, you can write in, or if you wanted to unmute, you could, and we'll take a note. You won't be seen, but you will be heard if you unmute. And we have from Cuba, but living in Miami. Woohoo.
Mm.
We are an international group. And then any challenges. And once again, we can also advocate for someone close to us. If we know someone, a dear friend, a family member who goes through a lot at this time of year, we could also write in their challenges.
Well, challenges that I've
Go over here a second.
had um, these days seem so silly because I feel like I've really moved through all of this and have so much compassion for my family and love. Um, but the struggles that I had, the biggest struggles were me being a super strict vegan and them not willing to compromise a big dead animal on the table because it was a big trigger for me to see that. The reason why that's changed is not because they stopped having the big animal on the table, but rather I stopped feeling so triggered. Um, so now I made peace with that. So that's been the biggest struggle, and that now is not there.
Yeah, really beautiful work at probably giving yourself empathy and giving them empathy.
Yeah, I used to like I would come to the party or whatever and leave upset and just sit at a different table and just like put myself in a corner to show how upset I was that they didn't have, that's how I saw it. They didn't have the decency to oh, so you would rather me leave the party than not have a dead animal on the table. That's and I would my communication was so violent, right? Like dead animal on the table. And um yeah, so now like that has changed and it, the holidays now are they're still not like fun and exciting for me, but I can spare the time for my family and be there with them and for them and not feel completely depleted afterwards.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm hearing this a part of you that, really needed to hear to you, like you needed to hear to you that this was your principle and it wasn't going to move, that this was important to you. And I think I'm hearing that at a certain point, you were able to give yourself that love and also understand that they came from a different culture, a different time, a different culture, and have empathy that their choice wasn't against you. And I think I'm hearing that a part of you really wanted to matter. You wanted to know that you mattered and what was important to you mattered. And I'm guessing that you've discovered that you do matter to them. You're just different in this choice around food. Has that been the journey or something else?
Yeah, that was exactly the journey. I do matter. And it's how they've done it for many many years, and they would just think that I'm just being ridiculous or whatever, but um my family has showed their support and love in other ways, and I have
Mm.
been able to receive it in those other ways. And it's yeah, like you said, I've given myself the love and compassion. I've removed myself from those parties. I had the boundary to do that, and I created my own New Year's practice, which is to be completely alone in my ceremonial, air space. And nowadays, it created my own ritual in a way, and I can still, spare some time with them and be with them and then remove myself when I need to. And they understand that now. They understand my boundaries and they understand how I work.
Yeah, I just want to breathe that in. In nonviolent communication, one of my favorite phrases is, would you be willing to collaborate with me? to get both of our needs met. And we can say this to another person. And I think I'm also hearing from you is, am I willing to collaborate with myself? Am I willing to collaborate with myself to get my need for, connection and family met while also having my need for integrity of my principles and, my need for my own authenticity? So am I willing to create, in a sense, a win-win between different parts of myself on the inside? And I think I'm hearing that you did. You did. You created a win-win that allows for both.
Yes, I did.
Woohoo. Yeah, and that is in nonviolent communication, we call that self-empathy,
Mm.
and the capacity to work with ourself. And I bring in this concept of the inner aspects, that we're more than one thing on the inside. I don't just have one need in a moment. I might have the need for connection and the need for authenticity, and they might look like they don't go together.
Mm.
But I love that you highlighted, and I don't always think of it that way. So thank you. That sense of, would I be willing to collaborate with myself to create a win-win, or
Yes.
myself, or am I
Mm.
just allowing one part of me to take over?
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I love your inner aspect, and I'm constantly aware of them. So many different names for them, and I love you for bringing that into my life.
Um, I'm just breathing that appreciation. Part of me really loves being appreciated. Yay. And I made a list of some of my challenges. And Martina, did you?
Yes.
And
Who starts?
yeah, who starts? Flip a coin. I don't know. What do you think? Do you want to start? What do you think? Like, do you want
No,
me to
you
give
can
one of
start.
mine?
I'm happy to
So
support you
I'll
to go
give
for your holidays.
I'm
Traveling.
gonna okay, I'll give some of my challenges, and would you be willing to offer me empathy?
Yes, I'd love to.
Um, so one of my big ones has often been my family. And my family, more often than I feel comfortable with, says things like, are you still dating that jerk? Have you found a real boyfriend yet, or a real job yet? Or I'm afraid to ask what you do. And for me, like the tone of voice that they say it and that more accusatory, like interrogation way of speaking doesn't meet, my need for kindness. But, like, what is there anything that you want to say? Because, like, a part of me is like, oh, I don't like it when you talk to me like that. Ugh.
Hmm. Yeah, actually, I would like to invite that part of you on a little role play with me.
Okay.
Does the tender part of you feels ready for it?
Yes.
So I'm gonna be your family members who speak with this tone of voice. Just right now, something magical will have happened. All of a sudden, I'm gonna put on some giraffe ears, and I will have learned MVC just like this. Now I know MVC. I'm your family members, and now I know MVC. And this time, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna actually listen to you from and this is something that might not happen in reality because we may not be yet connected to that soft spot in themselves and in you. But for this role play, all of a sudden, I'm gonna learn as your family member, MVC. So yeah, Tender Francesca, I heard that you have something to tell me. If something is off, do you want to tell me what it is?
Yeah, I've been dating someone for 11 months, but I want you to hold this in a really tender way, that, we're on a relational journey and there are ups and downs and we're still working it out. And he's a very precious person to me.
Hmm. Yeah, it's that you want to be seen and respected in the value your relationship has to you. Mm.
Even if it doesn't look like, yours,
Yeah, like some openness. You would like some openness from me. That even if it doesn't resonate with the way I live, I can still support you with yours. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Totally
that it's
get that.
really painful when I express myself with the tone of voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to believe I do want to support you and welcome you.
Yeah, it can be hard because my life looks so different than what, you and the rest of the family have created. And, I'm guessing it can be hard to understand, but I would I would appreciate understanding, at least an effort to understand, or just a curiosity or a kindness rather than feeling like, I'm being interrogated or attacked.
Hmm. Yeah, I just want to be understood. Yeah. That I would come with curiosity instead of immediately attacking you and assuming the worst.
And I would say that, I love that you're doing this because I'm realizing as you're doing this that this is how I feel loved. I feel loved
Hmm.
when you feel curious about me. I feel loved when you um, are trying, trying to
Hmm.
understand, even if it's hard for you. Um,
Hmm.
I feel more loved.
Yeah.
And I'm
You just
guessing,
want to know that I love you.
yep,
Yeah.
I do.
Hmm.
Yeah, that feels really good.
Yeah.
I wish I could give them that pill so that they would have it.
Yeah. So I want to take a breath and a deep breath and breathe in this need for love and understanding and let it sink in our bodies and connect to it to support it manifest through us. Hmm. Thank you, Francesca, for bringing your challenge.
Thank you. Do you have a challenge?
Yes, I have two. Let me see. Yes, I have it. So I'm gonna go home for Christmas as every Christmas because I will never be forgiven if I don't. And my mom now even has a broken knee, so even more than normal. She's gonna ask me to help her prepare food, which per se I find so beautiful because I love to cook. So it could be such a beautiful occasion to connect. But my mom is a tyranny of the kitchen. Like everything needs to be clean every second. Like I cannot clean, I cannot cook like that. I don't need to be crazy messy, but I might not want to wipe after every single crumble I do. And yeah, so like now this beautiful idea of cooking together is such a stress. Yeah, so it's like I'm feeling almost like I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I just want to take a moment and breathe that in. Yeah, my brain's going in a couple of directions, but maybe we'll do both. Like what I'm hearing, what I think I'm hearing. So in NVC, we always guess instead of accuse. What I think I'm hearing is that there's a part of you that wants to be with family for the holidays. And then there's a part of you that maybe is almost afraid that if you don't go home for the holidays, you'll never be forgiven and you won't meet your mother's need, your parents' need, your mother's need for family, for connection, for tradition, and for ritual. And then I think I'm hearing a part of you that that likes the idea of like cooking together and creating a meal together, theoretically, theoretically likes that idea and may have enjoyed cooking with other people. But there's another part of you, maybe the data collector, and maybe the part of you that's also younger that says like, hey, we have evidence and we have history with trying to cook with our mother in the kitchen is not a collaborative fun event like it might be with other people. It's actually a very it creates anxiety, creates nervousness, stress, and it's not meeting your need for like ease and fun and connection. If you actually are being ordered around, like clean that up, do that, get that mess. Why are you doing this? Kind of ordered around or criticized. It doesn't meet your need for like ease and fun and connection. And I'm guessing when you even have the thought, it might happen or it will happen. The thought itself starts to feel stressful. Is that close?
Yeah.
And I'm curious if we might role play um, we might do the opposite. So when we did our role play, you were being the amazing like family member, and I was being the, geez, could you be different? And I'm curious if we almost flip it, where if you are your mother,
Yeah.
just out of for the sake of science, for curiosity. So in nonviolent communication, we're ultimately wanting to develop our capacity for empathy for ourselves and for the others. So we're role playing different ways of developing that muscle. And we'll talk a little bit about how you can practice this at home too. So uh, you be your mom, and I'll do my best to be you. Um, and we're getting ready to cook in the kitchen.
And am I going to speak nonviolent communication, or am
Nope.
I going to let out my jackals?
You're going to bring out in nonviolent communication, we have two mascots. The mascot for our more kind and compassionate self, we call the giraffe, because the giraffe has the longest neck of mammals. It has the biggest heart. So it gets a big view because it has such a long neck and it has such a big heart. And the the mascot for the part of us that is, how could you? How dare you? I don't like you. What do you mean? You can't talk to me like that. The part that goes burp, 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 burp. Our mascot for that is the jackal, because the jackals are, very reactive and they get very upset and they bark at things. So, what I'm going to invite is to be the jackal. But if you authentically feel your jackal softening, go with that. Like you don't have to just hold on to the jackal so hard that it never softens. But if it's
Yeah.
authentic to not soften, so if it just feels like you're in the jackal and you're staying there because that feels authentic, feel free. So be authentic to the movement that may or may not happen when you're
Yeah.
receiving empathy.
Thank you. Yes.
So, Mom, what are we cooking?
What do you mean, what are we cooking? We spoke every day of last week. We revisited the menu already 5 times. You still don't know what we're cooking. Please don't tell me you forgot to do the shopping.
Thanks, Mom, for reminding me of the fact that we've talked about this. And, I'm really hearing that, you're such a good cook and you always have set such a beautiful table and you have standards. And you're really wanting to make sure that I understand those standards and I'm supporting you. You really want my support at this time more than ever. And I did do the shopping. And I just wasn't sure which item we would start cooking first.
Why are you speaking like that?
Mm. Um, and how would you like me to talk? Is there a different way?
You're too collaborative. I don't trust you.
I can get that. I can get that. I know that, in the past, I've sometimes been really, I don't know, really critical and really upset at the holidays. And so I don't know, I've been thinking about it, Mom, or Mama, or, however you call her. How do you call her?
Mama.
Mama. I've been thinking about this, Mama. And I'm thinking that I want to be more appreciative and kinder to you. So that's why.
I cannot believe you.
It's okay. You don't have to. Um,
So you're gonna help me cooking the way I want it, without making a mess.
can I share something with you I'm a little scared about?
You see, I knew it. I knew it. You don't want to collaborate with me.
I do, but I'm a little scared. Can I share something that I'm a little scared about?
Scared. You're always scared. You're always sad. Who grew you up? I surely didn't grow you up like that. What are you scared about?
Um,
It's the therapy you're doing. It's not good for you. Now you're sad and scared all the time.
thanks for wanting me to be happy, Mom. I hear you really want me to be happy, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I want to live up to your expectations. I really do. Um, and I'm just a little bit afraid that I'll let you down. But I want you to know that I'm going to do my best to clean up after every step of our cooking, um, because you're important to me.
If I would important to you, you wouldn't
Oh,
live so far.
yeah, I'm hearing that you really
So
miss
don't
me.
pretend that I'm important to you just by cleaning the crumbles of my kitchen.
I hear that you really miss me and that you really love
Yes.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love you too.
But you're never here with me.
What?
You're never here with me.
Yeah, you want me here more often.
Yes.
Yeah, and I I love that you want to spend time with me, and that's something that I want to look at with us too, is like to spend good time together, good quality time together. And you would you like to know why Berlin is important to me?
No, 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 no. I know
No.
why Berlin is important to you.
You
It's
do?
just I'm
You do?
always alone.
Oh, honey.
I feel so lonely. Your dad is never home.
That sounds so hard. Yeah. I just, I love you, and when I hear that you're lonely, I feel sad too. Do you want to start cooking?
Yes. And it's okay, I'll clean after you.
Do you want to put on some music?
No.
No, no
Again?
music. No music.
The
Okay.
music of yours enough. It's okay, I think we can hold it here.
Yeah.
If we open the music chapter, it's gonna go on another 5 hours.
So you fight about the music that you listen to?
Yes, my mom wants no music
Hmm.
ever, ever.
Okay, then yes. Then it's like, okay, Mom, we don't need music.
Yeah.
And I would say that, how was it for you? being your mom, but having someone give you empathy.
Yeah, I'm actually feeling touched by what is the softness, the vulnerability of my mom. At the same time, I feel guilty. Like I'm both, a part of me is feeling touched, and the other part of me, it needs to be heard as well. And yeah, I feel guilty immediately. Like, oh, my mom is lonely, I want to do something about it, and it manifests as guilt. But
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
it's much more of a soft spot
Yeah, and it just
reaction to her.
and I'm hearing your love for your mom that,
Yeah,
has a tendency to go a little bit towards guilt when she says like, "Oh, I'm lonely and you're not here." But I think I'm also hearing a mourning or a grieving that she's so lonely and that
yeah,
it can be hard to figure out how to meet your needs and meet her needs.
yeah.
Yeah. And
But thank you. It's beautiful to be touched by my mom's heart and remembering that she has one. And yeah,
she has one. And may I say one thing about um, my own journey with my family? How long are you going home for the holidays?
no, I don't know.
2 days. 2 days.
I reserve myself the possibility of running away whenever needed,
I hear you.
but a
So
minimum of 5 days, yes.
so with my family who, can be challenging as I was, kind of saying some of the things that they might say. Um, what I did was negotiate with my inner family. And I would say, okay, these are some of the things, like your mom really well. I know my family really well. These are some of the things they'll say. And, you know, younger selves that I give myself empathy. You don't deserve to be talked to like that. You don't deserve to be criticized. And they do love us. They just don't know how to love us a different way. Like this is how they think that love is meant to be expressed through criticism, through control. And I want you kids to know that I do love you. And if we need to leave, if we need to leave at any point, it's too big, it's too much, I'll have us leave. So I promise you that. And and then I want to play a game. A game? You want to play a game? Yes, I want to play a game. And the game is to see how kind we can be no matter what they say. How empathetic we can be no matter what they say. So that when we leave, we're like, damn, we were so good. We were so great at this. If we have a real boundary, we'll express that. But in general, we'll try to play the game of, of empathy and sometimes shifting the conversation. Like, it's okay to start cooking now. So they said, okay, we can play that game. And then when I went home, no matter what, more often it's my mom. It was my mom. Um, and like you never visit. I think I'm hearing you really want me to visit more often. I brought my son and she was like, he was like 3 and she's like, he's still, in a pacifier and that's going to be terrible for him. He should stop using a pacifier. I think I really hear that you want him to be healthy and that, you know, you want him to stop using the pacifier, for his teeth. Is that close? Yes. And I'm worried about trying to change his schedule right now because he's in a new place and, it's a new environment. Oh, I wasn't asking you to do it now, honey. Oh, okay, great, mom. So we're on the same page. I certainly don't want Dylan to always have a pacifier. And I'm thinking, I don't think he's going to be 30 with a pacifier, with a binky, whatever you call it. So I'm like, so I would go for agreement. Like, I agree. And then, she might criticize something else. So I would always go kind of underneath. What's the need? I think I'm hearing you want Dylan to be healthy. I think you're missing me. I think, am I hearing you? And I don't know if you and your mom ever do this, but she wanted to argue about politics. And I don't like arguing about politics. It brings me no joy. So she was telling me how great she felt a certain political leader was that I felt was awful. And what I said was, Mom, I think I'm hearing that you really value this person and you feel that they're doing a good job. Yes. Yeah. And I appreciate that you want me to know that. But I'm only here for a few days and I have other things that I really want to talk with you about. Could we talk about something else? And then she would be willing to change the conversation. So I would never resist. I wouldn't agree. I didn't say, oh, I value that political person as much as you do. I would say, I hear that you want me to know that this person is really valuable to you. And why? Okay, great. So it's by doing that, it was effortful. It took a lot of effort. I would be exhausted after 5 days, but I would be very proud of myself. And there would be no arguments. So, and then my desire to be heard accurately, felt accurately, seen accurately. I, with a certain amount of mourning, stopped trying to get my family to do that.
Mm.
And limited the time that I would spend, but made sure that I spent some time with them because that was my own integrity. I didn't want them to die and then not have spent any time with them. That wouldn't feel right to me. And so welcome.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your inspiring story on how to set boundaries and still be present with love with your family.
Now, what I'm about to say is not as easy, I think, with an Italian family, but it works with the United States, probably the United States, Canada. Yes, the United States and Canada, and it might work with some of the northern countries. Is the holiday letter. So the holiday letter is actually before you go home for the holidays. The holiday letter is, dear family or dear mom and dad, I'm looking forward to seeing you for the holidays. And I wanted to let you know that and this works once again in northern climates, the United States and Canada, is that my nervous system has been more stressed lately and that I'm running high cortisol and that I actually need to limit the time that I can be in the house and with around people. So I will be renting an Airbnb or staying in a hotel, and I will be coming 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day, whatever you decide. And I'm happy to brainstorm with you the time of the day you want me to come. So I could come from noon to 6, or I could come from 10 to 4, or I could come from, 2 to 8, or, 4 to 10, whatever 6 hours you really want, feel like would be the best. And, thank you. Thank you for being so understanding. So this prepares your family before you get home that you're actually not staying with them and that your time is limited. Now they might have a response, like, who told you this? Was it a doctor? Who said that you needed this? And depending on your family, you tell them either it was my psychotherapist, it was my doctor, or it was my research. It depends on the family, which one works best. And then if they have any response like that's not enough time, you look inside because, you'll be there all 3 days, all 5 days, all whatever days you decide. And you can say either, I'm hearing that you really miss me and you want more time with me, but I will be there every day. Or you can say, look to see, can I make it 7 hours or can I make it 6 hours if I said 4? So with many of my clients in the USA and Canada, they've been able to do that and their family pushes back, but eventually says yes. I don't think it would be as easy in some of the Mediterranean cultures to do that.
If you're from the Mediterranean and you want to try it out, I'm going to remind you that I offer mediations. You might need one. Do it with 2 months of advance to make sure no one is going to poison your food.
And I just want to welcome the people that are joining now. So what we're doing, we are here practicing both nonviolent communication, reflective listening, and interweaving the inner aspect method, which says that we're more than one thing on the inside. We actually have many different parts. I want to, I don't want to, I should, I shouldn't. I want to go home for the holidays. I don't. I have compassion for my family. I don't. That we have many things going on the inside. So we're weaving this all together. And we've been practicing role play with what is it to offer empathy to someone, a friend, a family member, something else, and what is it to also receive empathy, the nourishment of receiving empathy, and how receiving empathy actually resources us to be able to give more empathy and to be able to feel less depleted by family. So we were looking at what are some of the challenges that we can have with the holidays. And so far we've mentioned a critical family, like critical around your career or your relationships. We've also looked at a family that might be critical if you're cooking together. Like if you're cooking together, then they might get very stressed in the kitchen and it has to be just one way. Any other holiday challenges that people have that they might want to bring in? And one of our people that are watching live, we're saying, I'm loving this. Because the personal is usually universal. So anything that you've experienced at the holidays, someone else has experienced. So I just want to allow that.
Yes, I am loving this. And also I wanted to ask about like a perspective I got when you were role playing with Martina. That was amazing. Like the way that you were reacting to the nonviolent communication, like almost like what do I say to this? My concern with that is that they feel that we're being condescending and that they would react like, oh, like you think you're better than us because you can talk to us like this, or like my family wouldn't say something like that, but like that's where I could see them thinking, oh, here she comes with her like tools. And
Wendy,
yeah.
I want to interrupt you just 1 second because I really love, rather than speak about, to speak it. So I'm wondering if you would like to do a role play where you are your mom or whoever is saying the sentences, and I'll be as best as I can you.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
down.
Okay.
Okay, let me.
What's their name? Oh, nice. I'm happy to see you.
My mom's name is Lily.
Lily. Okay. So, Lily, yeah, are you a bit annoyed, like with this new way of speaking I have?
My mom is. I'm trying
Just
to.
play her at your. You know her better than anyone else. Answer to me as if you're her.
She wouldn't say anything. She would just think it.
Yeah, just silent. Mom, you have nothing to say?
Would she roll her eyes? Would she kind of be like,
Yeah.
No, like, okay. Should we go to Marshall's and do some shopping?
Yeah, like, is it that you don't feel really connected to me?
Okay, we need to go back a little bit. So I need to have like the topic. Okay, so what would it be? The thing is that also my mom lately, I think she's been learning, so she's just learning to but let me put myself in her shoes, like last year. For example, let me tell you about a conversation.
Yeah.
I was telling her about how some childhood trauma, and her response was like, you never lacked anything. Like, I always give you everything you needed. And I was like, yeah, but like there's these things. And then she's like, oh, I don't understand. And then, well, if I apologize now, like would you like let that go? But it felt kind of like can we just like get over this now, to, you know?
Yeah, it is a bit painful to talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I was doing my best. I don't know why you are bringing that up now. Like,
Yeah, you want to be acknowledged for all the times that instead you've been the best mom in the world.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, like, you don't really feel seen when I only criticize you for what didn't work. Mm.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I could have done better. I do sometimes, you know, like I see my friend, the way that she's raising her kid. Like, I wish I would have done that with you. Like, I feel like I could have done better.
Hmm. Yeah, is that you feel a bit guilty because you really care for me, you really wanted to be there the best you could, and Hmm.
Can we go to something else now?
Yeah. What do you want to do, Mom?
You want to go to Italy with me for like 5 days? I'll put on a. It doesn't matter if I'm in debt later. We just escape. You down?
Yeah.
I know you have a lot of,
Yeah.
but you could just do that. I don't know, another time. You don't want to go to Egypt with me and just.
Is it that you want to treat me?
You don't have money to pay for your trip. You don't have trips anymore with me. You used to go on trips with me all the time, but now you're so focused on your career and you're just one thing. We gotta go on a trip.
Yeah. Is it that you feel a bit lonely?
I don't know. I feel I'm bored. I'm just like stuck here.
Yeah. You want something different?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just bored. I'm just like doing the same thing every day.
Mm. You want like some spice in your days?
Yes.
Yes. Is it that you want my support for that?
I just don't want to go alone. Like, I know that you
Mm.
alone and you like you're an antisocial, so like to you it's easy to just stay home, but like I need someone to go on a trip with me, and like you used to go on trips with me all the time and now you don't
Mm.
do that.
You want a buddy to feel safe?
I don't know.
Mm. You don't know. You just want to go to me with me on holiday again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have a credit card that you could just put it on and we'll just, you know, you don't have to pay it back. Doesn't matter.
I wonder how easy to hold it here.
Yeah, to stop for this moment.
Yeah, to stop for this moment. I mean,
And how
my
was it?
experience is that it finishes when we are dead. There is no end to connecting to the needs. There is always a need, more vulnerable under the need, under the need. So my experience is that it finishes only at the end of our lives. So
Yeah.
I was aiming to hold it for now, and I want
Yeah,
to
and
breathe the sweetness of your mom in with a breath. Mm. Thank you for bringing her with us.
and what we're practicing in this moment, and welcome the people that are coming in for the last, the last few minutes of
Yeah.
our teaser. We have one more on December 18th as well. And we're practicing what is called in nonviolent communication, kind of being the Sherlock Holmes, the searcher for the beauty of the need. So underneath complaint, underneath criticism, is always the beauty of the need. And we learn a new way to look at needs. So in the United States, there's a tendency, I'm guessing in other cultures too, to sometimes say you're too needy. You're too needy. You shouldn't be so needy. And so people start to almost worry about their needs and feel that they can't express them, or they shame each other for having them. The other thing that people do in English, maybe in other languages, but in English, they confuse needs with requests, opinions, um, possibilities. So I might say to you, I need you to shut the door. Well, in nonviolent communication, needs are what is core and universal. So let's say it's cold outside and I have a need for warmth. Warmth would be like comfort. Physical comfort is a universal need. Closing the door is a strategy. So in nonviolent communication, we say that we argue about strategies to meet needs. We don't argue about the needs themselves. We argue about the strategies, the way that we're thinking of meeting that need, and we also argue about the prioritization. Many couples will kind of struggle around, one prioritizes freedom and the other might prioritize safety or connection. And then they start struggling because the one that needs freedom also needs connection. They just prioritize freedom more. And the one that needs connection also likes freedom, but they prioritize connection more. So they're actually struggling around prioritization. Whose need comes first? Or the strategy to meet the needs. But in NVC, we stop arguing about the needs themselves. We actually connect in the need. Oh, mom, you're really missing me. You're wanting connection. Oh, mom, you're really feeling lonely, and maybe you're wanting a return to tradition. So we're looking. We start to have X-ray vision and X-ray hearing to actually hear people beneath their words and see them beneath their actions. And that's where we actually find understanding. So, how was it, Wendy? I just wanted to check. How was it for you being your mom, but receiving this kind of curiosity and this kind of empathy for what was underneath your words?
I think I'm still stuck in my mom's role play because I don't know what to say. That tends to be something she does where it's like, hmm. So
Can I
Yeah, and
maybe
I
guess?
would say, go ahead.
Can I maybe guess, Wendy?
mhm.
Was it like you could really feel her uncomfortableness in being met on such a vulnerable level?
Yeah, there is a lot of discomfort, and
Mm.
I have felt that before, like talking with them, like it's hard for her to communicate, like have a conversation, like back and forth. She's like, that's why she travels, it's to escape, like she to put herself outside of these things because she doesn't have the bandwidth to
Mhm.
through it. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely felt that discomfort, like I'm being cornered in a way.
Yeah. So I'm imagining there is a beautiful need for space, your mom, and safety and comfort. It is not being met when you try for a vulnerable conversation.
Yeah.
I just want to take a breath
So
of that because that's
yeah,
really important. It's really important because remember, in those priorities of needs, we all need space sometimes. We all need safety or comfort sometimes. But some of us, and everybody wants connection, but a strategy toward connection for some of us is to talk. Is to talk or to share more about our lives or to want the other person to share more about what they're feeling and what their life is about. So it's a favorite strategy for some of us to go for more communication or more, depth of communication.
Yeah.
Where for the other person, that strategy is very, very uncomfortable. And I feel like they're like cats. You know how a cat, if you're petting it the right way or if your energy is right, they'll come up right under your hand, like this, like pet me. And if they like your energy, they'll be right there with you. But if there's something about your energy or something that you're not doing right for that cat, what do? They either hiss at you or they turn around and walk out. Some of them don't hiss, they just literally walk out. And I started to notice that there are certain people in my life that are like those cats. That when try to get closer or try to get more information or try to share more information, they just, they literally will get very quiet. They'll shut down. Like they'll shut down. So, in a way, they walk out, but they walk out internally.
Yeah.
Some of them, like my son, literally walks out. So, when I'm not on the right level of lightness, keeping the conversation light, my son will turn around and leave the room in the middle of the conversation. Now, other people don't physically leave the room, but you see them energetically check out, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I invite the possibility of, just as a game, again, thinking of them like cats, and that there's a game to say, how can I approach them in a way that allows their nervous system to feel more calm and therefore more ready for connection? And when do I notice that something I say or do has them activate, like the little back goes up like a cat, the back goes up or they shut down in some way, and nothing's going to happen at that point. And I recommend giving ourselves empathy for, I really want to be closer. I want to talk more. I want to reveal more about my life. I want to know more about their life. That helps me feel loved and closer if I hear more about them or I share more about me. And then I turn to that part and I say, yeah, you love communication. You love communication. It's a favorite strategy. It has you feel loved when you get to reveal yourself or when someone reveals to you. Is that close? And then, yeah, yeah. And you don't experience it with this person. No. Yeah. And you know what? They might have a different way of feeling loved. Ooh, yeah, not everybody feels loved the same way. Yeah, it's weird. I know it's weird. Ours is clearly the best way, but they have their own. Hmm. Yeah, and we want them to feel loved, don't we? I guess so. Yeah. So let's experiment.
Yes.
Adulting. Oh my God, adulting takes so much work. We're coming to the end of today, but I wanted to mention that there's a couple people who joined a little bit later. So you could come on December 18th. We'll send a new link for registration for the 18th. And this is also free. And for people who want to go deeper into these role plays, these practices with issues in your life, whether the holidays or not the holidays, with just getting more and more, more of a skill, more of a muscle of how to work authentically, but gracefully with people that can, in fact, be challenging for us in our lives. If that sounds interesting, being proud of yourself in your communication and effective, we invite you also into the series. And do you want to say anything about the series or how do they get the discount?
Yes, so you're gonna receive an email after this teaser. You're gonna receive a bonus with $100 discount for our course. This is just for you who participate to this or are looking to us in the recording. And you're also going to receive a table of feelings and needs, which is going to support you hopefully throughout the holidays. And also a couple of documents with indeed like how to have difficult conversations and how to state your boundaries as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. There is
Healing
just
our healing our
just a
relationship with
manual
boundaries.
basically on how
Yes.
to survive the holidays. Yeah. There's everything you need to go through those days. Yeah.
And for some of you, if you saw me post on a WhatsApp or on Facebook and you didn't actually register, you just came to the link directly, then direct message me with your email, and then I'll get you the information. So I just want to say thank you so much, Martina. Thank you so much to the people that are joining us live here today. I look forward to seeing some of you potentially on the 18th or next year as we continue to be peace on earth. We become what is peaceful in a way that it's empowering for ourselves and others.
And thank you to you, Francesca, for the inspiring storytelling and the compassion towards all our struggles.
Until next time.
Until
Mwah.
next time.
Thank you.